Hi, it's Mildred Songbird, Eve Evangeline Einstein's in New York City. My last video said, pussy's not food, fool. And these are some examples. These are foods. This is food. Cauliflower, cucumber, broccoli, pressed strawberries, tomatoes, grape tomatoes, romaine lettuce, Amy's bean burrito. These are foods. This is what you're supposed to eat. There is a Jesus Christ disciple, St. Andrew, prepared this food for Vegetarian Friday here at St. Francis of Assisi. I wrote this book. Hey, he said, stop eating our animals. The animals are not food. And Jesus Christ disciple, St. Philip, is also eating the vegetarian food that St. Andrew prepared, Jonathan. And Singh Birdsong, a projection of Gurinder Singh, Jesus Christ. This Gurinder Singh, Jesus Christ, has been a vegetarian all his life. Okay. Alright, so let's begin the presentation. Mainstream and clues to you. And the sun god in heaven said, let there be light. And then he said, let there be a wife. And the moon appeared. You know when he said, let there be light, light appeared, right? Okay. I didn't think I needed to say that. Some things are understood. The wife was happy with what it is. Then she said, I need a child to show you how great what it is. So he, the sun god, said, let there be a son. But then he noticed God awareness made him admit, I am the sun. Let there be another smaller one with a mate for that one. Then there appeared the angel Michael and the angel Gabriel. Then the sun said, I need a garden for eating, Garden of Eden, with fruit, trees, and nut trees, and seeds for repeating, sowing and reaping, and growing and keeping, canning foods. Mama Sally used to, when she lived on a farm with Papa John, my great-grandmother, they used to can food in those glass ball jars. They were called ball. They had ball written on them. And they were glass jars, and they would prepare the food in some special way so it wouldn't spoil. And then they'd can it, and then when it was time, winter time, they had all that food that they had canned, which really they put in glass jars, not cans, to eat, you see. Smart, right? They were farmers. We need some rules, said the sun. We need Logos to be the straw boss. Reasoning, logical conclusions will make creation run smoothly. We need a family for inclusion, for collusion. We need some children, but first a mother, just like the moon. She'll swoon for her son and for her husband with a wedding band. A man's way of taking a stand after staking a claim. The mother of my children will carry my babies, and they'll all carry my last name, whose reputation I will protect. I will maintain. Because I, the head, will do right, and you, my love, my heart, will be pure, worthy of God, the Father. Let Angel Michael turn into a Michelle, the Michelle, my first and only daughter. Order, let her always do well, very well, for eternity. My order, this is the sun ordering, understand, the sun god. My orders for eternity. This means I have a right to be energy. Talking about myself now. the daughter that turned into Michelle, and to continue to be for eternity. This is my authorization to be alive, okay? Let, said the Son, God, let my son, Gabriel, my messenger, put DNA in Michelle's private part, her den, Eden, so long as she don't lose heart and stop playing her leadership part. She can present art. She can be protected by you, guardian angel Gabriel. And if the system starts to fail, if the children, Singh, Robin, and Melanie, of the children, Jandara, Seth, Lou, and Ostara, of the children, can't make a sale, you, Gabriel, will surrender. Become a thimble named Govinda. Song. The hymn, Michael Bublé, who also hymns How Great Thou Art. Elvis Presley sang that. He was Michael Bublé, a projection of Govinda Singh, who was Gabriel, the original angel. And up here, Ostara Gloria answers to life because we wrote a song on what it is called When a Newborn Baby is Born, the world gets one more chance. Edwin and Michelle Birdsong wrote this. I have a picture here of Edwin Birdsong. You could hardly make it out, but there he is sitting at the piano. And these hundreds of thousands of people are listening to him sing a song I wrote called It Ain't No Fun Being a Welfare Recipient at the Poor People's Rally in Washington, D.C. in the 70s. This is Eugene McCarthy. He was a Democratic candidate for President of the United States. Mrs. Coretta Scott King was also there that day. This photograph appeared on the front page of the New York Times when it really reported news. Okay, so where are we? So you fail to make a sale, and even if you have to die to inspire, this is a Gabriel's orders. Jesus Christ. The Emancipation Proclamation, that's the piece of paper that freed the slaves. To inspire, even if you have to die to inspire the Immaculate Proclamation. Now, Abraham Lincoln had to die for this. That's Anthony Tony Robbins, who was married to Eve Mary Michelle when he was Abraham Lincoln and she was Mary Todd Lincoln. He died because he dared to free the slaves to save the Union. So to keep the world from burning slowly, so even if you have to die to keep the world from burning slowly, till there's such a blaze. Note, my first song lyric, this life, said, I'd put out the blaze if the world was in flame, if it would make you see that you're the only Gabriel Gorinda, the head guardian angel of my daughter, the energy, reason for your will, Jesus Christ, the nicest male who holds no spite, who has all right. You can share this, your immense light, from sun up to sundown, with the greatest of the good souls. Okay, now also about the blaze, there is a media venue called the Blaze.tv, created by Glenn Beck, who was President George Washington, and Eve Mary the Michelle was Martha Washington, his wife. Also, his partner now at the Blaze.tv is John Adams. The Michelle Birdsong was John Adams' wife, second president of the United States. So she has had quite an impact on this culture, because everybody knows the wife behind every great man is a great woman. The wife supporting him and advising him, you know. In bed, pillow talk, you've heard of that. So around eyes of Western world, Jesus Christ's disciples, Eve's guardian angels, who became Jesus Christ's followers. This is just listing all the people that were affected by Eve, by Gabriel, and Michelle. Jesus Christ's followers. The followers are affected by Jesus Christ. They're following him. They're doing what he did, okay? Eve's husband, song, Climb Every Mountain. The Andes mountain range, Mild Red Michelle and her son, that's the Michelle Bird song. Mount, United States pleasure, enter her angel. Enter her, she's an angel. Govinda, Eve, energy, will, sun, will of the sun, sing bird song. Okay, I showed you sing bird song. Okay. Sing bird song, will pleasure the United States and become its appointed king, appointed by Govinda Singh, Jesus Christ, I. Okay, that's clear, right? Singh has agreed to be king. He was also King Menelaus, King Saul, King Charlemagne, and King Arthur. He is experienced at being a king. That's the thing about Govinda Singh, the architect of heaven and earth. He picks the people who fit the jobs. He doesn't fit the jobs and then let his friends take the jobs. You know, if you are not qualified, he does not give you the job. This is called merit hierarchy. Okay, you merit your position. Okay, so how are we doing? Okay. Pikes Peak Summit in Colorado. Present Ike's Peak. Ike Speak. President Eisenhower was called Ike. And I don't know if I wrote it, but he had to do with the Civil Rights Movement. He actually sent troops into Little Rock to escort the black students to school when the Little Rock authorities wouldn't let them into the school. Summit. She, you, talk about me, Mild Red, Michelle, Birdsong, is example of sexual pleasure. True pleasure, enter. Color, adore. Doer, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who is my grandson now. He lived in Colorado with his family. So he may still be there. I'm not sure. I've lost touch with them. He suffered physical abuse and indignities, including incarceration. It means they put him in jail. As he staged nonviolent, peaceful protests. Present her orders. Tess. Saints. Talk and share. See, they talk and share. They don't fight. They're civilized. Western civilization. Remember we talked about that earlier? The father of Western civilization is Socrates. Socrates was Eve and is the energy in her body now. He led part of the energy. She has many great soul energies in her body. He led the passage. Dr. Martin Luther King led the passage of the Civil Rights Bill of 1964 thanks to the cooperation of President Dwight Eisenhower. Remember up here, I speak. Dwight Eisenhower. He sent troops to escort. And Eisenhower is Govinda Singh, Jesus Christ. He was the supreme Allied commander. He was the supreme commander of Allied forces in World War II. So he saved the country in World War II. Him and Harry Truman and Einstein and Churchill. He sent troops to escort black students to school in segregated Little Rock, Arkansas. That's where Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton are from. And also Governor Huckabee, a good guy, and his wife and his daughter, Sarah Huckabee Sanders. She was excellent. I don't think she works as a spokesman for Donald Trump anymore, and that's very sad to me, because she was the best. She was so good at it. She did not suck up to those mainstream biased reporters, fake news. She told them the truth. So the cooperation and support, the Civil Rights Bill passed with the cooperation and support of President John Kennedy, now Kyle Cashnew, who survived Parkland High shooting. He did not survive, President Kennedy did not survive Dallas, Texas shooting. So he didn't get to see, President Kennedy didn't get to see the actual passage of the Civil Rights Bill. But he helped get it there. And so did his brother, Attorney General Robert Kennedy. Song, Abraham, Martin, and John by Dion DiMucci. 3 minutes and 23 seconds on YouTube. Abraham Lincoln, now Anthony Tony Robbins. The song is about Abraham Lincoln, Martin Luther King, and John F. Kennedy. I'll listen to it tonight. It's wonderful. Okay, it's at the One Unconditional Love channel on YouTube. Without the leadership of Everett Dirksen, Republican from Illinois, the Civil Rights Bill would not have passed. Get that, Republican, because they don't like to tell you the contribution of Republicans. I could do a whole video just on the contributions of Republicans to the betterment of black people. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Lou Ranzinger is his name now, the child of my daughter Melanie L. Spear, once explorer Christopher Columbus, child of Eve de Michelle Birdsong, that's me, Queen Isabella, who funded Columbus' search for a place suitable for the good people on earth. And they found America. Columbus and his crew found America. In 1948, President Harry S. Truman, that Singh Birdsong was President Harry S. Truman, Capricorn, from Kansas City, Missouri. I was in Kansas City, Missouri, after I went there to rescue my granddaughter, Ostara Gloria. And so President Harry S. Truman, Singh Birdsong, implemented the Marshall Plan to rebuild the economy of Western Europe after World War II had all but destroyed it. Now see, now that's what we did, America did, under the leadership of President Truman for Europe. And yet President Trump went to England and was treated like shit by the mayor of London, who is a Muslim, because either he doesn't know the help America has given England, or he doesn't care. You see, that's ignorance, any way you look at it. No, he never should have been elected mayor. They should get him out of there. Can you imagine? Don't imagine it. No, I don't mean that. But they actually elected their enemy to be their leader. That's like black people do that. Because the evil people have persuaded the good people that they're bad. So, in 1948, President Truman, signed an executive order designating the armed services, desegregating the armed services, meaning making the armed services have to give equal rights to black people. And see, they want to say President Truman shouldn't have dropped the bomb. President Truman, he knew that those Japanese were not going to quit. He had to drop the bomb to save lives. And then they want to say that Christopher Columbus was terrible. Terrible. He went through hell to find this place. They have no gratitude. They're not doing anything with their lives, but they're looking at the great things that men in the past have done to build this wonderful country and criticizing them. Let me see you fight. Let me see you do what these great people have done. You think it was easy for President Truman to decide to drop a bomb on Nagasaki and Hiroshima? It wasn't easy. But he knew that he saved 170 million lives. I did a whole video on this, or at least I wrote it up. I don't know if I put it to video. He saved all those millions of lives by dropping that bomb. Because when he dropped the bomb, they said, "Oh my God, America's serious." And these ego-tripping Japanese, big on honor, he'd rather be dead than defeated and all that stuff. They said, "Oh, we better give up. This man gonna destroy the whole country. He's gonna kill us all." So that showed that he was serious about winning the war. President Truman saved us in World War II. Otherwise, we'd be speaking Japanese, trying to kill ourselves like they're killing themselves. So President Truman is now Sing Birdsong, born in Queens, New York, grew up in Manhattan, New York. 2019 America, the U.S. Constitution. I don't know why I keep dropping the phone. The U.S. Constitution. Where am I? There we are. U.S. Constitution, Bill of Rights, laws are not being enforced. Mostly conservatives are banned from speaking freely. That's horrible. That can't remain. I hope we will start enforcing the Bill of Rights and the Constitution so that the conservatives have the ability to speak anything they want to say. In 1950, Charan Singh, Jesus Christ, the King of Kings, desegregated the eating facilities in the Punjab Dera Baba Jamal Singh in India. Against the advice of his advisors, he went into the kitchen of the Dera, sat down with and ate with the lowest caste in India, the untouchables. Though the Indian Constitution abolished untouchability, the oppressed status of Dalito, who are untouchables, remains a reality. In rural India, Devil Adam Wells pleasure. I'm talking, sir. What is this? Oh, here. I was decoding this word. Deletes. Devil, A for Adam, L for Wills, I for pleasure, talk and share. Okay, yeah, I talk and share. Adam wills pleasure, and the devil wills not anymore. They don't will Adam anymore. Okay, Adam was the devil. He was an animal, but he has become a man, a human. Okay, so in rural India, stated Klostermeyer in 2010, the untouchables still live in secluded quarters, do the dirtiest work, and are not allowed to use the village well and other common facilities. That means they have to walk to the river to get water. That's an inconvenience. In the United States, the colored, also known as Negroes, also known as black people, are able to use common facilities, but they choose to live in secluded quarters, meaning segregated quarters. Example, well-to-do blacks, many have moved to Atlanta, Georgia, clustering together down there. Okay, and the masses do the dirtiest jobs. Illegal immigrants are taking those jobs. Before them, Puerto Ricans did these jobs. Puerto Ricans have risen in America. They're respected now. The President of the United States' son is dating a Puerto Rican. Guilfoyle. I forget her first name. Starting with an H. She was also married to the mayor of Los Angeles. No, the mayor of San Francisco. Newsom. I forget his first name. However, President Trump and President Trump was the 10th Sikh guru, Gobind Singh Ji. He had to become guru at 9 years old because his father Vice President Mike Pence, the ninth Sikh guru, Tej Bahadur Singh, was beheaded. So President Trump had become guru at 9 years old. So Tej Bahadur, who was beheaded by the Muslims who had invaded India in the 13th century, because he was beheaded because he would not abandon his religion of Sikhism, whose mission it was to be of service to people, not hurt them, not take their rights like Sharia law takes the rights of women. Founder Guru Nanak founded Sikhism. He was Eve Mary de Michelle Birdsong, daughter of the sun, Minnow. In 1958, years before the quest for civil rights in America began, 13-year-old Minnow gave a speech to the 8th grade class of Burt High School in Clarksville, Tennessee. She entitled it a shocking title called "Why Should We Struggle for Freedom?" Is because we're black. Black was a taboo. That's why Richard Pryor said it, a comedian on Ed Sullivan. He yelled it, you know. Black, when referring to American Negroes, was as taboo in the 1950s as using the word nigger, which rhymes with snigger and chigger, and is taboo today, 2019. Particularly light-skinned Negroes who weren't supposed to use the word. But my mother was light-skinned, and she had a very dark-skinned boyfriend, and they had a fight. She told me about the fight, and she called him a black motherfucker. Now, my mother was beautiful, the most beautiful woman ever to hit the town of Clarksville, and she was smart. She was a valedictorian of her class. But unfortunately, she married at 14 to a man who got her into alcohol. So that ruined her life pretty much, as far as an upper middle class person that she was set up to be. So anyway, she called him a black motherfucker. So that put in my mind the word black. So when Miss Macklin, the teacher, said write a speech, I wrote the thing that was the core problem in the community. Everybody was afraid to say they're black. But that's why nobody wanted us to sit beside them on a bus. Like that. Okay, so I'm going to, I took some notes which I wrote on this page, but I don't want to get into it now because my time is almost up. I'll make another video deciphering the notes where I talk more about